Hi there, welcome to today's vlog. I wonder if you've ever asked that question or heard other people ask it, what on earth is the world coming to? And it seems pretty clear to many people that, or to everybody really, that we're in a time of complete uncertainty. Many people are anxious. What is the world coming to? Certainly in the UK, with the Prime Minister resigning, the political scene seems to be so uncertain, and it's unclear the way forward, what's going to happen, what's happening with our nation. So many issues. Even a strong, clear, focused government would struggle to cope with all the issues that are around at the moment. And that's just our part of the world. Never mind looking overseas, the war in Ukraine, the natural disasters, the conflicts around the world, the uh, people who are struggling for the very existence in all sorts of ways, the injustice that we see, the um, revolutions that are taking place, all these things, the very nature of our society seems to be on very uncertain foundations, doesn't it? So we may well hear people asking, what is the world coming to? We may be asking or talking with people who are searching, where can I find the sure foundation to my life? I heard someone recently saying that they felt that God was revealing to them that many of the institutions we rely on, that we take for granted, will be shaken, and that's going to cause great anxiety. Many people are anxious. How am I going to afford to live? So many things, and it seems that we're in a state of uncertainty and no one knows the way forward. So how do we cope when we meet people, when we work colleagues, family, friends who are really anxious, fearful? What is the world coming to? As I was thinking about these things, I remembered, or my mind went to that verse in John chapter 14, the disciples fearful, anxious, because the one they'd followed had been crucified. And then Jesus comes among them, and in the midst of their anxiety, their troubled souls and spirits, he says this to them, my peace I give to you. And then he says, it's not as the world gives, it's my peace. And Paul describes that peace as a peace that passes understanding. The world can't give us peace. The world can't give us certainty. The world doesn't provide a sure foundation for our lives. But we find that in Jesus. And my mind also went to that Psalm 46, where the psalmist writes about the trouble and the storms of life. And then in the midst of that, God speaks and says, be still and know that I am God. We can find peace, we can find strength, hope, foundation in God, in Jesus, even in the midst of the great storms of life, the storms that are raging around us in society, the storms that we may be feeling ourselves personally. And ultimately, in the answer to that question, what is the world coming to? We have that wonderful little passage at the end of Revelation, that vision that Jesus gives to John of what is to come when God will wrap up history as we know it. Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. And he who is seated on the throne said, I am making everything new. So whatever we see around us, whatever is happening in our own lives, we can know that peace of God in Christ, that peace passing understanding. And we can know if our trust, our faith is in Jesus, then our security, our eternal future is secure. We can trust in him. In the midst of the storm, we can know his peace. And isn't that good news? Good news worth sharing. So God bless you. Thank you so much for listening today.